Hello everyone. So on to my fourth guest for today, which is Yiulin. I'm gonna plug her in. And
Hi Abby. Bonjour. Mon poulet. Maman poulet. So today is going to be my little chit chat quick fire with Yiulin, this splendid Homo sapien and traveler. I'm going to plug her in right now. So we're going to talk about her epic Morocco voyage, curated by moi. So, mana lah si Amoy ni? Amoy, where are you, Nyonya? I actually called up si Maxis hari ni. Ya Allah, diorang pun cakap internet is so bad lately because of the upgrading to 5G. So Semenanjung is badly affected. So we're waiting for Yiulin. Sabare ya, tuan-tuan, ibu-ibu.
Oh,
Hi!
my face. Hold on.
Hey. Oh, get up. Just like, are you in Marrakesh?
Pretending. Since we can't go anywhere.
Jealous, yeah. Look at you. Oh wow. Can you show around at least? What do you have around you? Oh my god, that looks so nice. Oh wow, some bubble makcik.
Pillows.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Just for you guys because I'm so bored.
The only Moroccan stuff I have is just behind there. Storyteller. It says storyteller. How are you, babe? How are you?
Good, I'm good. Good? As good as good. Kids are on online school, so that's killing me. Slowly. Killing me very
Oh
slowly.
yeah? Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, it's good. The line's good.
Okay, all right. So I thank you for having me. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. Since we travel agent got nothing to do also, right? So trying to stay sane.
Oh. So where can
That's
they
right.
go?
Yeah.
The borders reopen.
Yeah, I know, right? Tell me about it. Even though people say that the travel will only be for the rich after this, but we try to stay positive lah. Maybe it's not true after all, right? Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about your 2018 Morocco trip, which in the beginning, to be honest with you, I tell you, when I met up with you and you told me you had only 9 days to explore Morocco, I was freaking out. I was just like, oh my God, how is she going to do this? Because you have to travel over 2,000 kilometers. 2,000, not 200. So then I thought like, okay lah, I'll try to squeeze something in for you and try to make it as epic as possible.
And we've never
So what you
before, right? You've never organized any travels for me before, so you also didn't know what to expect.
No, not at all. And I was quite nervous as well.
It was also our first trip that me and Azlan have done without children. So it was a big thing, like big trip for us because we said, you know what, we need to start focusing on us. We can't have the kids coming along all the time. So an epic trip for just me and him, and it was on your shoulders. Mm-hmm.
Basically parents on the loose trip, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we love adventures, and we always wanted to explore places that were not too kid friendly. So if we had the chance, 9 days, because we've never left the kids, obviously, and we figured anything more than a week, shit would happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, plus everything door to door, leaving the house to the airport, everything all in and back home in 9 days. Yep.
That's right. And then your journey to get to Casablanca is also quite a kangaroo hop. And then I saw some of your...
what was the flight? What was our flight itinerary like?
I think you took
KL.
Qatar Airways.
Yeah, okay, KL to Dubai.
Doha.
Doha. Yeah.
Doha.
Doha to
Then you
Casablanca.
translate for, yeah, Doha, Casablanca. That was like, basically, if you fly to London, it will be the same thing if you take Qatar Airways, basically. So then after that, yeah, you got off Casablanca, and then you had to add another 5 hours road trip to Chefchaouen, remember?
Yeah. How many hours transit? About 18?
And I think, sorry?
18 hours all in? Was about right? 18
So
hours.
I think for flights it's 19 hours in total. And then with the whole airport immigration, another 2 hours. Then after that, additional 5 hours just in time for the... Did you make it for the sunset? Chefchaouen?
Yes, we did.
You did, right? Yeah. So you arrive on time, and then you climb up the where the masjid is, right? There's a mosque up there, right? Yeah. And then you see all the Reef Mountain.
Yeah, we landed Casablanca. We got out of Casablanca because we obviously didn't want to prioritize. I heard it's a beautiful mosque and whatnot, but based on the 9 days, prioritized that we wanted to go to Chefchaouen, the Blue City, which is amazing. It was an amazing place, and we only stayed for one night. So when we arrived, he took us to a vantage point where you can see the whole town. That little spots, right? Sunset.
Yeah.
The different hues of blue. That was like just insane. And you know, when you see the pictures, the same, right, as when you're actually there. And then you put us up. Yeah, and you put us up in this really cute. Was it a dar? A really cute.
Yeah, Riyadh. I don't remember the name of the Riyadh, but it's actually in the Medina itself, in the old quarter. So it's actually all walking distance to the shop, to all the tourist spots, and it's a really one of the best Riyadh, I would say. Yeah, and it's such a cute town, isn't it?
Very small town, you know.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really anal about the hotel that we were staying in. It was more of like, okay, we've got like just one night. We just needed a clean place to stay in. They want to bust the bank by staying in a fancy place, right? So it was nice and clean.
Yeah.
You know, in the morning, up at 8 or 7-ish, we had our really nice Moroccan breakfast. And then we town. It was really a small town that you can explore in a day. So, you know, people always go, do you shower for 2 nights? I'm like, no, guys, one night is good. Just, you know, just...
Yeah. One night. Yeah.
And, you know, and just...
Because I really thought that you guys were going to be like super knackered and then not up to anything the next day, you know? And then, oh yeah, there was a comment here saying that your voice is on and off. Are you sure your line is okay?
Well, I'm on 4G and my Wi-Fi is crap at home.
Yeah, that's true. Me too, actually. But anyway, you were saying that, I was saying that, yeah, I thought that you guys were super knackered right after you arrived, but the next morning when the tour guide picked you up, and then it was all like, I think Azlan was crazy about the carpet shopping or something like that, and then he wanted to buy the sink lah, and then the what do you call it, the door lock lah, all that, right? So I think he went mental.
For sink?
Yeah. Did you get it?
We got it.
Yeah. So I thought like, hey, it's the other way around. It's supposed to be Yiulin who's crazy over shopping, but it seems that Lan he went bonkers. Anyway, and so one night you stayed there, and then after that you went to Fez. I was just wondering, because Fez is it can be crazy because of the big Medina. I mean, it's worth 52 kilometers of labyrinth, right? And then it's like a maze-like. And I remember when you arrived, it was late at night, and it was almost month. Yeah, and then you were like with your tumi and lugging your luggage here. And don't you find that whole Medina kind of like, you know, Riyadh searching so nice? Because once you arrive, yeah, it says, Yiulin, you should use a headphone because when Julie talks, it cancels out, overlaps. Oh.
You get a headphone. I go Chari.
Do you have a headphone?
earphones. Does it work?
Yeah, I have an earphone as well. I can go cari for a while, and then do you want to call back?
Okay. We just wait here. Plug it in, right?
I get the headphones too.
Sorry?
I'll get the headphones as well, and you get your headphone. Is that okay? Let's go.
Right, wait.
You guys, I'm so sorry for this. I think I need to be on this phone as well. Okay. Tess, can you hear me, Tess? Hello? I'm in a studio. So let's wait for Yiulin to get her headphone. So just like a little warm up before she gets her headphone, and I just want to tell you guys that she did 9 days in Morocco, which nobody has ever done before, because usually people just do about 14 days to cover north, south, including the Sahara for over 2,000 kilometers. So, and Yiulin did it in 9 days because she has some issues to take care of, someone who was taking care of her children, and she can't live. Technical issue, Tess. Thank you for pointing it out. Love ya. And so there's a lot of drama that happened during her trip, and but I have to point this out because every time, because of the difference, the time difference between Morocco and Malaysia is just like in Europe, about 7 hours. So can you imagine, like, when I'm asleep, she's out and about, and when there's some issue or some problem that occurs, she always texts me, and I'm like, in my baju tidur and trying to like sort out the problem and whatnot. And while she was sleeping and I was awake, and I text her, and she actually always replied to me while expressing her breast milk. Sorry, babe, if I have to point this out, but I find that really impressive because I think Luca was 1 year old or something. You're back?
Okay. Does this work?
Yes, it's better.
Better?
Say something. Yeah, a lot better.
Thank you
Just now
for
it was.
the tip.
Yeah, I was telling them just now while you were away that because of the time difference.
Yep.
Yeah, I was telling
Hello.
them just now.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yep.
I was telling them just now because of the time difference while you were there, 7 hours time difference. I remember when I was chatting with you, I don't remember when, I think it was your bedtime and it was daytime over here. I remember you were saying that, oh, I'm just expressing my breast milk. I remember you were still doing that. Luca was one.
A mother needs
right?
to do what a mother needs to do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luca was
putting
one,
it on
right? I remember.
and using my breast milk to put on my face instead of just throwing it away. Y'all, those who are not moms, it's really good for your skin, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, someone just said that how come I don't make up like you? I don't know how to make up like you lah. Like all this.
It's just lipstick.
I'm sorry, this is where I am. Sudah lah.
Anyway, it's not important. How
anyway,
long was the drive from we did Chef Shawan to Fez? Was that the long drive? Because I know Azlan was like, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" No, it's not a long drive. Yeah.
It was only like 2.5 maybe because of a van. If you take a speed car, of course, it's 2 hours lah.
Okay, and by the way, Juliana organizes the best car transport because we got into a Merc Vito van. It was kind of brand new. There was Wi-Fi on board. So we didn't even get a SIM card. We just Wi-Fi in the car throughout our whole journey in the whole of Morocco. It was amazing, actually. And we could, we could really sprawl out and sleep even during the ride. So that was actually, it really helped. It really helped. And we had the best driver. Correct. The 6-seater with the best driver that we could ever ask for. Muhammad was not only a driver, he was also my photographer. So he took amazing photos. He stood in the middle of the
Very good
highway to
angle.
get my highway shots, you know, like my husband didn't, but he did. So he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was very
I
he
remember.
was just basically never said no.
I think I saw your highlights. It's one of those Route 66 kind of like
Yeah,
it was in the high mount Atlas
correct.
mountainside, I think.
Correct, in the
That's
Atlas
beautiful.
Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
He risked
Yeah.
he risked his life for my picture. But
Actually, quite a lot of Moroccans risk their life for you, you know. The carpet guy, right? And you ask for a lot. You're very good, huh? You're good at
I
asking
know.
for.
They were like, are all
Yeah.
Malaysian women like this? Do they all bargain like this? I'm like, I think there are worse, you know, but I will not get away being slaughtered just because my husband's very enthusiastic carpet shopper. So we ended up having good
Yeah.
deals. But yeah. But
Yeah.
when we got to Fez, it was actually really manic because from Chef Shaw, which was a very small town, we went to a very,
Mm.
very old, big city with 44,000 lanes. And it's just, this town
Mm.
is just basically, has got a, what do you call it? A fort all around it, encircling it, where
Wall.
there are, yeah, it's a walled city and there are no vehicles allowed in this
Mm.
in this city. So
That's
literally
right.
we only saw donkeys.
Yeah.
Donkeys were carting things,
Yeah.
taking a dump everywhere. But
Yeah.
it was really interesting, and we stayed there for 2 nights in Fez
Mm-hmm.
in a
You did?
really beautiful dar.
Oh,
So a dar is
oh my
basically
God.
a
Yeah.
house with a garden in the middle, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful dar. What was the name of it?
I think Darumana.
Correct. It was amazing. It's if you
Yeah, and
guys
I think they
can
have
actually go
a
on my
good restaurant.
highlights, amazing restaurant and just an amazing
Mm-hmm.
villa. We got a really nice room. So we had
Yeah.
so you can look at the highlights if you guys are interested to see what the dar looked like. It's just, you know, in
Mm.
the middle of like we didn't even know where we were going, and suddenly from a dusty lane we see this decrepit door, and you're like, is
Yeah.
Juliana serious? You know, like
Yeah.
where is she
Yeah.
putting us?
Yeah. A lot
And
of
then you
people
go in.
always say,
Yeah, and you go in through this really dark alley of the hotel, and suddenly you come into this
mm,
magical center court with an amazing garden and just the mosaic tiles, and it was just really
mm-hmm.
mind blowing, you know. And
It is. It is.
um, and that's why we were talking to the hotel about this concept of dars, and the fact that they
Mm.
said the concept of Islam is that we should never be too outwardly or too show
Mm.
offy with our
That's
life
true.
or what we have. So it's more of like
Yeah.
you don't see anything, but you see the
Mm.
beauty in it when you actually go in or are invited by the family, which
Mm.
you know. So
Mm-mm.
it's like, you know, people are humble. They're not
Mm-hmm.
show offs. You know, you don't have a big gate outside. You know, it's very simple. It's a very simplistic way of looking at life, which I think it's amazing. So we
Mm-hmm.
it really resonated with us. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I find that really, because I think most of the riads over there, they always have the same concept. So it all
yeah.
depends on the rates, of course, and the class category. Restaurants also play a big role. But I really like the fact that, you know, when you're on the labyrinth, like you said, it's so dusty, and then suddenly, voila, you know, all this like
Amazing
indescribably
beauty. Yeah,
beautiful, dramatic, you know, tiles from down to ceiling. It's just crazy
yeah,
craftsmanship, don't you think so? You know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
did you actually, how would you rate Fez? I mean, you know, the
I think
cities all over Morocco, they have their own Medina, right? They have their
right.
own soup, they have their own Medina. Which was your favorite Medina or
I
soup?
think because we kind of ended at Marrakesh, right? And obviously Marrakesh has
Mm,
their very famous Medina. Um, but if you ask me when I compare between both, I actually really liked Fez. You know,
okay.
Marrakesh, yes, it's Marrakesh is a big city. Everyone goes to Marrakesh. You know, you've got the
Mm,
YSL Museum. There's so many
yeah,
eyeballs on Marrakesh.
yeah,
Beautiful. I'm not saying it's not, but me
yeah.
and Azlan, we're a slightly different traveler in a sense. We don't like to do what is the expected and where the
Mm,
general tourist heads towards. So we're always looking for
mm-hmm,
something off
mm-hmm,
the beaten road and things which are less
mm-hmm,
obviously appreciated. So for us, finding
mm-hmm,
little gemstones in the haystack, you know, kind of places like that, which have
mm-hmm,
not really made it on Instagram or not
mm-hmm,
really where all the crowds go to, we kind of tend to gravitate towards that. So Fest was amazing because Aslan even managed to get a run. And I was like, oh my God, 44,000 lanes, baby. Are you going to even be able to find come back to the
Yeah, yeah, he
hotel.
did, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sportsman, huh?
So he
Sportsman
obviously,
holiday.
but you know, that's the best way to see a place is when you actually run it or walk it, right? So
That's
he
true
actually
though.
managed to do that, and he got to really see the real way of Fez,
Mm,
not just in
mm.
the popular roads, lanes. He
Yeah,
really got to
yeah.
see life because it's life for
So
them, right?
whatever
Fez
that
is a
we
city
saw
that they
from
live in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Basically, Fez is like a traditional city where basically it's like a Soho where people actually live there and do their business there, as opposed to the one in the Grand Bazaar in Turkey
Yeah.
where they
Where it's
only
all
just do their
business.
business there
Yeah.
and then they go back home. They don't live
Correct.
upstairs, you know. So it's like a
Correct.
traditional Soho,
Very
which is
different. Yeah.
nice.
Which is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I think
and then
you.
from Fez, I think
Hmm,
people are very interested in Sahara. You know, from Fez
so
we
many
went to
highlights.
Sahara, right?
Yeah,
Trying to
7 hours,
remember.
7 hour trip,
Okay, so
7 hour
this was
trip.
the road trip that Azlan was like,
Mm,
"Are we there yet?
mm.
Are we there yet?" But thank God
Yeah,
we had
yeah, yeah,
Wi-Fi, so we were
yeah.
not, you know, we were okay. Great, and we had lots of amazing pit stops from Fez to Sahara. We had quite
Mm,
nice pit stops. You broke up the trip a
mm.
little bit. Uh,
Yeah,
was where did we stop? Did we stop in this in the middle of nowhere where I bought my fossil? Was it right?
that is because you are actually cutting the high atlas. Because they have
Correct.
high, middle, and low atlas, right? Because it spreads out. So I think you were in. I don't recall the name of the town because it's too small.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you
that's very
found
small.
the fossil
Correct.
pop-up store, right?
Yeah.
And
So
what was it
we were
called?
at
Ammonia or something? Ammonia? Oh, I don't recall
Ammonite.
what it's
It
called.
was a
Ammonite, yeah.
this so
Ammonite.
this place is literally it was kind of like a pit stop to have a drink, and it
Mm-hmm.
was actually looking into a valley of olive groves. And then there's another city down there, so it's kind of a very deep valley of very lush olive groves or
Zip Valley.
plantations. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guys, if you ever go down that path, you need to stop in this what valley? This valley,
Zis. Z-I-Z.
this
Mm.
this
Mm-mm.
valley. It's amazing, and there was also shopping there, which was basically a roadside stall that was selling really prehistoric fossils. So I managed to pick up
Love.
ammonite, which was beautiful. But you know what? I don't know. My daughters liked it so much they don't know where they put it, but they stole it from me.
Really?
So I know I wanted to show it to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
but
I know, right? Yeah, because I thought that was really beautiful. Like
correct,
something that
it was like
only
20 US or
archaeologists share on
something.
Instagram. Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
really? Oh man, I should have asked you to buy for
And
me.
you know, it's nice little souvenirs that you pick up in your travels, you know, that will always bring you back to the place. So that's what we like to do, picking up
Yeah,
things
yeah.
along the way. Yeah. And then
Lovely.
we continued on our drive to Sahara, which was
To
epic.
Merzuga,
Hi, say
the town.
hi.
Hi, who's that? Hello,
Ava.
how are you, Eva? Hairstyle?
Hi. Okay, now the kids are all joining us, guys. Sorry. Ava, look and say
It's
hi.
fun. It's fun.
Oh, okay. Say hi.
Fun.
Hi, 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 hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. Go have your dinner. So we got to
Yeah, so
Sahara
that's
and it
Merzuga, the
was
town?
Merzuga, yeah, correct. You get to
Yeah.
Merzuga and you and us did a lot of research on which tented safari place we wanted to stay in, right? It was like a lot of back and forth and I was like, because you know, when we plan our holidays, I don't generally use travel agents, but with areas that I've never been to and that are quite like, you know, like risky and you don't want to be deserted in a place that you don't know people, so you know that's why I work with
Yeah.
you to choose, like obviously to map out our
Mm-hmm.
route and give me advice on, you
Yeah.
know, what do you think is best, because there's only so much you can read but you don't really know because you don't know people that
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
been there or done it, whereas you have people on the
Yeah.
ground, which is great,
Yeah.
you know. So all the research I was doing, I was like, you know, telling Janelle, what about this dar? You know, this looks good. Or what about stopping
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we did a lot of back and forth. And I think that's very important in fleshing out a trip that, you know, a trip that you and whoever
Mm.
you're going with would, you know, would resonate
Yes,
with you because everyone's different.
I think, especially in North Africa destinations, we're talking like Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco. I mean, these are Arabs that are not as high class as the one in the Gulf, you know, so poverty is quite high there. So then, I'm not saying that safety is not there, but you just need to
be careful.
be extra careful,
For
right?
Sure. And then also it shapes the experience you have. Because if you have a bad experience with people, then your trip is, ruined, right? But if you have good people that you're dealing with, in the hotels, with the cars or money changers and everything, it really makes a difference, right? So I think that was very important.
And the reason why I gave you Desert Luxury Camp, the glamping, is because they have the best or the highest sand dunes. Because if you notice at one of your old highlights, right, I saw that the ripply kind of like pattern, it's so beautiful there in the morning, and it changes all the time because of the wind. And everything about it, like during daytime, it can be golden brown, and then it turns out to amber, and then suddenly it becomes soft white, and then suddenly your husband went missing. Oh, what happened? Your husband went missing.
Yes. So Azlan
Tell us
obviously
about
tried to also go. He also wanted to go for a run in the desert. I was like, okay, sounds like Fez, right? You getting lost in the alleyways, you getting lost in the desert. I said, just make sure your Garmin is working, because the Garmin, he has GPS and whatnot. So, he sets off. No, mommy has to do this. I will join you in a bit. Okay, say bye-bye.
2 more minutes.
You say bye. Okay, you say bye.
It's 2 more minutes.
Oh, 2 more minutes. All right. Okay, guys, go have your dinner, and I'll be down in 2 minutes. I promise.
Okay, your followers like all these kids. So manja, one mommy only.
Yeah, I know. Because the more time you spend with them, the more they want you.
Yeah.
Right. So back to that. Yeah. So so it's okay.
Was it in the morning?
Yes.
Was it in the morning that he went for the run?
No. It was about 9 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. So with the weather that we went during, when did we go? October. December?
Late September.
Yeah, okay. So that was when generally it was quite nice weather, warm but not too hot and not too cold, right? But in the Sahara, it's hot in the day and it's very cold at night. So it's like, kind of drops, right? So you have to pack for both kind of weathers. But so when he went running, he was just wearing his normal Nike top and running shorts.
Yeah.
So he ran off around 9. And I was lucky for him. I was videoing him. So I actually videoed him at the starting point, because I was on the top of a dune, so I could see him. And the tent was down here, and he was over here, and he was running here slowly. And I was videoing him, And then, okay, that was it. So I was just doing my own thing. And I expected him to be gone for about like 1 hour and 1.5. So after 1 hour, it's like, okay, whatever, I thought maybe I was going to go for a longer run. And suddenly I get a few missed calls. And I hate picking up phone calls when I'm traveling, because it's always like, someone that wants to sell you insurance, or someone that's like your a credit card, I'm like, no. So I never pick up phone calls, because I'm super cheap like that. Also, I don't want to roam, right? So
fine.
I didn't pick it up a few times, and then suddenly I get a message, like an actual message, right, saying that pick up the phone now. And I was like, oh crap, it was from Azlan, right? So then I call him back, and the line was like literally cutting in and cutting out, right? He goes, I'm lost. So when I got that message, I was like, So I was more like, maybe people would panic, but I was more of like kind of chuckling to myself. So I was okay, all right, let me go try find help, right? So I climbed down the sand dune, and I try to look for the manager. So the manager of the tent is there, and he goes, I said, husband missing, and then the guy, he was like, so there's a lot of like sign languaging and whatnot. And I go down and I said, he's not back, right? Like he's running. And I showed him the video. So he actually, from the video, he could actually see, okay, from his starting point, what time was that? And he kind of calculated an average person runs at a certain speed. So he could say, okay, and what time is it now? He should be within this, this area. But the problem is he didn't have a car. So the camp did not have a car. So I'm like, how are you going to freaking, find him? I'm not going to freaking walk. You're mad. There were a bunch of Germans that were staying at this tented camp that had a Pajero. So I went up to them and I said, can you please help? My husband's missing. Oh, you play the, woman in distress, the damsel in distress. I said,
ask for help from them.
So I
didn't know.
because
Oh,
we had no cars
okay,
to
okay.
find my
I
husband.
thought that the hotel people were asking for help. Okay,
No,
all right.
because otherwise they would have had to send a car all the way from Merzouga or whatnot. So I just asked the
Ah,
Germans,
okay.
and the three of them were like, oh yes, because I guess they had nothing else to do. It was quite exciting. So they were like, okay, let's go in German English. Let's go find your
Yeah,
husband.
yeah,
So we all
yeah.
jump into the Pajero together with the Bedouin manager, and we're all like driving windows down, like Aslan, where are
Yeah,
you? And it was hilarious because they were also screaming his name, and I think they were
yeah,
having a time of their life because they were like dune bashing, and we were
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
we see tracks,
Uh-huh.
so we can see like running tracks, and then the tracks
Mm,
disappear because when the wind blows, the sand just
that's
obviously covers up
right.
everything. So then we're
Yeah.
like, and obviously the Bedouin, he's quite familiar with the terrain. Obviously we're not. So he could
Mm,
see like, okay, I think if he's there, he should be this direction. And then we kept
mm,
on driving, and he was like, your husband very fast. I'm like,
mm,
potentially
mm,
faster than
mm,
normal.
mm,
He was like, yeah,
mm,
because we should have found him by now, and we're still driving, so he has to have been running very fast. I was like,
mm.
yeah, okay, all right. So screaming for him. I was like, do you know the Germans are screaming, Aslan, and I'm like screaming, Aslan, baby. And then eventually we hear someone, we think we hear someone, and then we think we see a little like needle on the top of a dune far, far away.
Right.
And so,
Uh-huh.
so the
Uh-huh.
Bedouin's like, okay, go that way. So he was telling the driver where to go,
Yeah.
drove, up and down, and the thing is, if the
Ya
person looks like it's
Allah.
there, to get there, it's not
Yeah.
just driving straight. It's like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
way,
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah.
Then
You tend to
eventually we
lose focus.
spotted him. Yeah. And eventually we actually spotted a real person in the desert. And we picked him up, and it was hilarious, like everyone was obviously very happy.
One person just said, this tick lost in the Sahara.
Aslan was very, very obviously relieved, and he was like, shit, I didn't even pack water. He only had a scarf, so he tied his head to keep the heat from whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so he was like, yeah, shit, that was a bit crazy. And you know what? I was thinking, what is there in the desert? Desert snakes, desert
Yeah,
scorpions, and he was like, oh
scorpion.
my
Yeah.
god, I was like, oh well,
What?
you're safe. So
How
that's
long was he away?
so
He
about
went missing.
total maybe 2 hours. Yeah,
Ah,
not too long.
not too long, but
Yeah.
still, I'm sure he was panicking as well because losing in.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
then after that sorry?
I'm glad that you guys found him. Oh my God, that would have been really ugly on our side.
I think the manager then reported to the owner of the camp and said, we found him. Because I think they were freaking out thinking, oh my God, if it comes out to the news that we lost a tourist. And, I think they were just like, oh my God. I don't know when I updated you that we lost him, but anyways, all's good.
Yeah. I think when you updated me,
Yeah.
you already found him lah. But you told me like in a chirpan style. You're like, you know what happened? Ha 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 ha. You laughed first. You laughed
Yeah.
it off, and
I think there's no
then
point in
you came up.
panicking and crying, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just more of
yeah.
like,
That's a story to share.
Yeah.
And and right after that, you stayed there for one night, and you had a ball, I'm sure.
We did a
And then after
camel sunset, camel sunrise, and then we did sand duning, surfing thingy. We had a bonfire. We saw like some Bedouin dance and whatever. It was it was nice. And you know what? Everyone was like, this desert camp, like, do you have aircon? And we had aircon. I even had a plug point to charge my phone. There was a
Aircon.
flushable toilet. There was hot shower. So it was like super glamping.
Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah, great. And then after that, I think you moved on to main destination would have, what was it, Marrakesh, but because it's Merzouga to Marrakesh is about 10 hours, so you had to break the journey in Scaura, which we hosted you for one night in the amazing Dar Ahlam. Oh my God. Even I've never been there.
Everyone needs to go and look at Dar Ahlam now on Google or Instagram or whatever. It's the most amazing. It's the most amazing place,
The swimming pool, the garden.
The gardens.
Everywhere. Dia, everything is like
Yeah.
it's just you look
It's
amazing as well with your baju there, and I'm just lost for words with that property.
yeah.
I think they have only
The
like 10
place,
rooms.
yeah. They had 100
Yeah,
staff waiting on 9 rooms. And it was such a peaceful place to be because we were in the middle of nowhere, and the estate is big enough for you to not even see anyone. So that's
mm,
very much the idea of Dar Alam, is to actually reconnect and be with yourself, be with your own person, right? And exploring the place in your own time, and never
yeah,
having a fixed place to eat in, or never ever.
hmm,
So which means they don't have a restaurant. So say
hmm,
for instance for breakfast, or so for breakfast, where would you like to eat? We'll set you up under the olive groves, and then for dinner
wow,
you're under the stars in the middle of I don't know, somewhere. So it's literally
yeah,
they create spots for you to
yeah,
dine
yeah,
in
yeah,
everywhere
yeah.
across the estate, and you
Amazing,
never
amazing.
see anyone. Yeah. So it was a very spiritual. Like
So,
Azlan
any
was
other
literally
guests?
said, sorry.
Did you see any other guests? I mean, from your pictures, I didn't see anybody
Yeah. So I
passing
think maybe we
by.
saw another couple, and that was it. You don't
Right.
you
Okay.
don't see. Yeah, you literally did not see anyone, and you're in the pool. There's no one. It was so private, and the attentiveness of the staff and curating your meals. The meals were just. I don't eat vegetables, and I ate vegetables when I was there.
Tomato juice. That
That I
shot.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Aslan was
I'm
like, "Are
proud
you
of you.
okay?" I'm like, "It's actually quite good," And then because everything that you eat is basically planted and harvested in the property.
Oh my
And
God.
and if
That's super
whoever's
on.
not been to Morocco, their produce is like world class produce, right? Everything is so fresh. It tastes a different world. So I think
I
I
think
don't eat
it's similar.
vegetables. I don't eat
I think it's
healthy.
similar to Australia, right? Australia, the grown is
It's
quite good
it's
as well, right?
it's also, I think it's more amazing in Australia. It's
It's more
really like,
amazing. Yeah.
if Yiulin eats vegetables, it says a lot. And I ate vegetables during
Yeah,
that
yeah,
trip.
yeah.
Um, the
That's
breakfast was just
true.
crazy. Yeah, so it was just such a nice break.
I know that I think the breakfast over there is more of Azlan's kind of cup of tea. It's not really yours because you are like more nasi goreng, whatever, right? I mean, I'm not saying that you don't like those
Yeah,
things, but I
yeah,
think you actually, I think after a few days, I saw that you were enjoying it.
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
first few
totally.
days, you were like, okay, this is your kind of breakfast,
It's like,
Azlan.
yeah,
I miss,
yeah,
where's my Indomie? Where's
yeah.
my,
I just want like
yeah,
fried eggs.
yeah.
Give me a sausage, like.
Yeah,
But the foods
yeah,
there
big
very.
breakfast.
It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really really amazing. We so really kind of like reconnected with just being alone, and just life was just stopped for a moment. It was just not hectic. From
Yeah,
fairs and the traveling, da 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 da. And we knew that getting to Marrakesh was just
yeah.
going to be a whole different level. So we wanted something that was
Mm,
going to give us that respite to
yeah.
just chill and just be with each other, appreciating the moment, which I think a lot of people don't do sometimes also when you're traveling.
Holiday
Um,
especially. It's always like
mm,
moving, moving, yeah, non-stop. And
yeah.
then I think your journey from Scaura, the name of the small town for Dar Alam, to Marrakesh, I think it takes about another 4 hours to reach to
I
Marrakesh.
think, yeah, about five. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And I think you were already very tired by then, and then that was your last leg. And then after that, you did tell me that you didn't quite like Marrakesh. You didn't hate it, but you didn't quite like the whole mess because it's just very
Yeah, I
busy,
think
busy, busy,
it
right?
was,
And
yeah. Marrakesh
but
is
there was a
beautiful, but it is very hectic, and I think it's
yeah,
very important those who go to Marrakesh, you find the right dar for you, right?
mm,
So finding the
mm,
right dar, and there's so many different dars. There's El Fan, which is beautiful.
mm,
So that finding the right dar is very important for you.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then at the same time, the people that to show you around. I think the tour guide is also very
mm,
important. Lucky for
mm,
us, our tour guide knew what pace we wanted and what we wanted to do to explore
mm,
certain places, which we
mm,
did. And
mm,
because this was the end of our leg, we treated ourselves to a hammam at,
yeah,
what's the name of La Mamunia, which is an amazing, because
yeah,
like
Lama,
You can't afford to
it's
stay
like number
there
one.
because it's
Yeah, yeah.
so expensive.
Actually, you can, but you
We
just don't want
didn't.
to waste so much money. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you.
We
That's
didn't
why I
want
like your
to
style.
spend.
Yeah.
We didn't want to spend that sort of money on just a bed. Of course, the place
Oh,
is amazing.
also because Azlan was looking for a gym.
That's
Remember?
also true. Yeah,
Right, because the
that's true.
Riyadh that you were staying in, they had no gym. A lot of Riyadhs don't have gym because
It's small
Riyadh is like
houses. Yeah.
an old house converted to villa, right? So then, yeah, I think you rented for 1 hour. Did he? one
So
hour
no, no,
or two
no.
hours?
So
There's no such
so
thing. I
Azlan,
forgot.
yeah. So wait, no. So it's a day pass. So you don't have to
Day
stay at
pass.
the resort. You
Yeah.
pay for a day pass. So it's like
Mm.
say about 100 US a day. But you get to use
Mm.
all their facilities. I think they had like 4 pools. And then there's the hammam spa. And Aslan could use
Wow.
the state-of-the-art gym, you know. And then
Yeah.
we could eat there also. So I think for me that made sense. Like, okay, I don't have to pay crazy bucks to stay in the place, but I get to be in the
Mm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, obviously, Azlan needed to work out. I could chill out in the pool,
Yeah.
and go
Yeah.
for my hammam.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
actually a good choice.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you had a photo at that the most Instagrammable spot in La Mamounia. What
In
was
the
it
spa
called?
with the
Is it
white tiles and the
yeah, yeah,
water. Yeah.
yeah. I never knew the name of that place. So every time I go there and bring my guests and I just Instagram? Ah, what? Oh, Instagram. They don't say Instagram, they say
Oh,
Instagram. Oh, there. So there's no even a name of that place, that
right.
particularly,
It
spot,
just
So
when you see the
that's quite
spot, you're like, okay, I have to take a photo here because it's
yeah.
beautiful. As in, it's just Morocco, Marrakesh, the
Yeah.
tiles, the architecture, just the
It's
spaces
insane.
that every nook, every corner is got its own character. It's just you look there, you're like, oh my god, you look there, it's just beautiful. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did enjoy Marrakesh, but I think how we planned our trip, ending it in
Mm,
Marrakesh, just made perfect sense.
mm,
We had about
mm.
3-4 nights in Marrakesh, right? So we could take it
Yeah,
slow. We could
yeah,
explore. Like I went to the YSL museum,
yeah, yeah.
the
Le Jardin
garden,
des Hôtels.
obviously,
Mm,
which
mm,
obviously Majoral, you need to go there. And
mm.
we had the one of the guys that worked there. This gay guy, he's the best. He took me to every spot to take a photo. He got the right
Yeah,
angles, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I went there alone. Aslan was doing his own thing in the gym. So I
Right.
managed to go and
Oh,
explore.
you
Then also,
went alone. Okay, okay, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. No, actually, I
yeah, so
forgot.
I
So, yeah.
so I went alone because Aslan wanted to be in the gym the whole day. I didn't want to be in
Mm,
La
mm,
Mamunia the whole day, so I did a quick,
mm,
leisure and Marjorel. I did the YSL Museum just because I'm in
mm,
fashion. Went there
mm,
and got inspired,
mm,
and then I joined
mm.
him at La Mamunia.
That's
Um,
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then we shopped a fair bit in Marrakesh because there's just a lot. Whenever I go to cities or countries, I try to buy the local designers. And
Mm,
that's why I want our tourists when they come to Malaysia that they buy Malaysian designers. So for me,
mm,
it's like,
mm,
okay, let me go look what little quirky brands are out there. So I shopped a bit.
mm,
Bought some really
mm.
nice jubas. They are very good in their kaftan juba things. Bought some
The
pillows. So
I think your jalaba, the
got
translucent
the
one, was
jalaba.
really nice. Yeah, the
Yeah,
black, the
yeah,
very jarang
see
one. That's
through.
nice. That one. Yeah. Oh, I
So
love
this,
that. That's like
yeah,
a
so it's
Berber
all
lady.
correct. So
Did you get
just
that at the La
beautiful.
Mamounia Hotel boutique or
I got it
no?
opposite the YSL Museum. There's
Oh,
a row of shops that actually
33 Majorelle. Yes, yes, that's my
correct,
French shop. Yeah,
and they showcase a lot of Moroccan designers from jewelry. So I bought a lot.
that
Like
shop
they were like,
shop
yeah,
drives me crazy.
what I know that
Mm,
YSL the rings and the stones with
mm.
the lots of
Yeah, yeah.
gold, and they've stopped making rings like that under Saint
Uh-huh.
Laurent. But there, when you're there, you can buy things which look like the
Mm,
same. So I
mm,
bought
that's true.
jewelry, amazing gold choker. And I bought the jalabas, I bought kaftans, I
Mm, mm,
bought
mm.
pillow
Yeah, yeah,
cases.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I shopped the most in Marrakesh at the end, which makes sense, right? Because I didn't want to lug so many things along the way. So I think I liked the way we traveled the whole of Morocco. And then I think by the
Mm-hmm.
end of the last 2 days, I was like, okay, you know what? I want to escape to Essaouira, right?
You
So
did, yeah,
Essaouira, yeah. Where then
yeah,
along the
yeah.
way, we got to like cuddle the goats, which were on
Argan
the argan
Gold.
oil,
And I
which
tell you one thing I have to point out, yeah, none of my my guess, whenever we always have this pit stop because it's like in between Marrakesh and Essaouira, right? So these Argan goats, it's not in season when you went, but then all this, yeah, it wasn't in season actually. But then the goats happen to climb lah, you know, whenever they feel like climbing, or the shepherd would just tell them in their own language. But what's funny was none of my guests would climb on the tree, but you two did. I'm like, Ya Allah, monyet-monyet ni, you know?
Ya Allah, you can't take us anywhere, you know? Yeah, we will.
I'm like, oh my God, Azlan, please lah, don't go missing anymore or jatuh or anything like that. But it was amazing. This is the only species that you will find in the world that actually climb on the tree, and they are, I don't know, their hooves are just so strong. Even the strong wind can't just, they're just so stable. Quite an amazing creature.
And it was like, when I put up the photo on Instagram, everyone was like, where did you go to find them? You know, like, by the side of the road, it's like by the side of the highway. And then literally, the Argan trees are by the side of the road, the highway, guys. Yeah. So you see you see all the goats perched up there. And from afar, you're like, what are those things, right? And then you go closer and you're like, those are animals up on the tree. So we just pulled and we stopped by and we just obviously took a photo of them, cuddled one baby goat, and then we climbed the tree and climbed back down and we left on.
Hey, but you guys were very lucky. There were so many of them, more than 10, I think.
There were so
many. Very lucky. Because I think the last time I went, I saw only like 4 or 5, but yours were like a bouquet.
A whole bouquet. I was like,
okay, the bouquet of them.
It was hilarious.
I think Essaouira was just charming also lah. I mean, at least you get to see the Atlantic, right?
But we had such amazing seafood. It was just
seafood, the grilled seafood.
And I was kind of getting a bit tired of all Azlan's food. So I was like, oh, you know, like, we got lobster, we got prawns, we got squid, you know. And it was so cheap. My God, it was so cheap.
Your sister-in-law, a long time no see, Zizi. Do people still call her Zizi? I used to call her Zizi.
No.
Or it's Zai now, right? Oh, sorry. Anyway.
So Essaouira was nice. It's a windy city, and you know, fans of Game of Thrones, the scenes are also shot there. So if you want to recreate your Khaleesi moment, where she's up there, the tombo, and then the dragons are swirling around, it's exactly there, you know. So
I don't know anything about it, but yeah, thank you.
So we did that. It's super windy. It was super windy. It was crazy, and it was not too far away. So I think we managed to jam the Essaouira. It was not planned, but we jammed it in on the second last day, right? Yeah. So
and then you went back to Marrakesh, and then I think you had like your birthday dinner.
I had my birthday dinner. Yeah. So it was my birthday trip.
I think
amazing restaurant.
I made an appointment with. I forgot the name of the restaurant. It's so good, that one. It's very popular among Europeans. I forgot the name. Yeah. I mean, you guys want to give me a call, you know. So once this stupid travel.
Go on my highlights. I've highlighted everything. And then you go bug Juliana, okay? Don't bug me, you guys. And I want to also like I think people correct people's misconception about the trip. You know, people were like, "Oh my God, you know, this trip would have been so expensive because you guys did so many things and you were pampered, and the places that you all stayed in, the transport, and everything." And you know what, like, guys, like, North Africa is so affordable. If you're ballsy enough and you have an adventurous spirit to go there before things boom and get more expensive, go now or not go now, go next year. But my recommendation is don't try to be smart and do it by yourself. Okay, these places you just have. If you have one bad experience with one person, your tour guide or whether it's your driver or someone in the hotel, it just can screw up your whole holiday. So, go with people that you trust, don't penny wise, pound foolish kind of thing. You're flying all the way there. It's far, make a memorable experience out of it. And the thing is, our Morocco trip was not expensive. I don't know whether you want to disclose how much it was within a range.
Well, it was around, I mean, yours was, because it was like 2 years ago, so I have to check my file back. But usually it will cost about 12K per person with half board and really nice riad 4-star deluxe, international standard. But Dar Ahlam is not included because that's exceptional, and you deserve it, and you were selling that place, and like what you said, you have to have a really, really like rock and roll bougie spirit like yourself, because a lot of people are always prone to going to Europe. Like London is always like a their main destination, and then and then they hop onto, I don't know, they go to Warsaw, anywhere else, right, in Europe. But then with Morocco, I think you can always fly to London and then fly to Morocco, because the flights are not, it's only like 2 hours or 3 hours, right? True. And after that, you can just explore the whole goddamn country, because it's an insanely amazing place, right? I call it Mandra Morocco. And it took me about 2 years it's like very hocus pocus, right? I think about it, and because I sell it, and then sometimes when people ask me and when I have to curate it and I see all these places that they're going, I'm like, oh my God, I miss it so much.
You want to cry.
How long did it take for you to get over it? This whole Mandra.
Till this day, we're not over it. No, we still go, like me and Azlan still go, we want to go back, we definitely want to go back. In terms of like places that we feel maybe we can explore next, I don't know what, maybe we've missed out other cities or other places that I obviously will have to speak to you about. But I would actually do the same route, but I actually, obviously, because I've done Chefchaouen, I wouldn't need to go to Chefchaouen again. Maybe I could explore Casablanca, maybe do a bit more of the Sahara, right? And explore.
They have more glamping sites as well, more new ones. Yeah.
And then there's a lot in between the Sahara and Marrakesh, the Atlas Mountains, lower and high Atlas Mountains. There are lots of amazing places that you can stay along the way. So I think that is an area that I would explore more. We actually managed to go and stop by that place, which was the famous movie set for the Gladiator and everything. Around that area, there's actually a lot of, there's a lot of interesting places that you can stay at. Even in Marrakesh, you don't stay in Marrakesh itself, you stay on the outer regions. There are beautiful estates.
Yes. Correct.
Beautiful estates there also. So I actually might then, for my next trip, do more of that. Because I know people were asking, what else would you do? But we'll definitely go back, because it's just the most magical place that we've been to. I know, right? Hopefully we can, like, oh my God, when COVID is over, but for our philosophy in life is also, there's so many places to go to and so many cultures to be exposed to and whatnot. Like, we try not to go back to the same place again. As much as we're like, want to go back to Morocco, but Madagascar is a place that you and me are talking about, right? So we want to go to Madagascar, I want to also do a bit more of like our African safari, because for our honeymoon, we did Cape Town, we did South Africa, but now we want to do Tanzania, we want to do Zimbabwe. So it's just so many places to go to. And I feel like life is so short. If no one's realized by now, this pandemic has taught us that life is really short and you need to live for the moment. You can only surround yourself with like, KL life and work and just amass money and money, but you're not living your life, right? And you make money, you spend it.
That's why I noticed that when I first saw you, and after some observation, I noticed that you don't wear Swiss watches and all that. So it's not that I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I just like, hey, babe, you never wear all these watches, huh? And then you told me that you would rather spend it on your holidays,
memories.
Which is my kind of sentiment as well. Even if you see me with one, it's fake. So, and but thank you. Oh, what's wrong with the line? Are you there, babe?
Because you don't bring those.
We're losing her.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. And I think it's time for us to end the show. And thank you for having me. And hopefully we can do Madagascar or Tanzania. Can you hear me, babe? You back? Hello? Lynn? I think we have to cut this off.
Sorry. So
I can hear you. No! I think it's the line. I think they're just telling us to
Sorry, someone is
buzzer.
like trying to
Okay, we're back.
call me. Yeah. So what
Ah,
was I
no
saying?
wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Life is short. Just live it. You know, live it, experience it. You don't bring things to the grave, but you bring memories, right? Memories with who? Your loved
That's true.
ones and whatnot.
And also travel with a purpose, you know. So you always like. I think your sentiment is when you travel, you can you hear me? Can you hear me, babe?
Yep. Sorry. Someone keeps on calling me.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
I know. No wonder. Okay.
So
I think we better end this and thank you so much. And thank you. You also have generated a lot of sales for Morocco for us. Thank you so much. Just by all your OOTD and all that. And people want to be you, which is good for us, you know. And see, everyone is having, people are asking for part 2. Well,
we
maybe
can talk
next
about
time. If you're too.
Madagascar after we do Madagascar, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Look forward to it.
Just pray.
Thank you and
pray.
have a good day.
Thank you for having
my
me.
regards to Azlan. Okay? Take care. Bye, babe.
Bye. Ciao.